plaintiff, Job Coleman, says after he started dating the defendant, he discovered that she lied about everything. Job says the defendant even lied about being on birth control, and as a result, they had a son together. Job is suing his ex for breach of contract. Defendant Sandra Smith insists she and Job were engaged for over 3 years. And a week before their planned wedding, Job took off and left her and their son with nothing. Sandra claims on the day they were supposed to wed, Job proposed to his new wife, who is with him in court today. Sandra denies owing Job for anything.
Let me hear from you first.
Well, this all started in 2003 when I met the defendant, and we started a relationship together. And from the very beginning, she just started lying to me right off the bat. And she's a liar. And
what type of things was she lying about?
First off, she started lying about being on birth control, and which she wasn't. So consequently, we had a child together, and I love him to death. You know, he's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Sure.
Next to, you know, getting married to my wife over here, but he wasn't planned. He wasn't. And
when did you all break up? What year?
In 2006, in the middle of 2006.
So she lied to you for 3 years, and you knew she was lying often?
Yeah.
What would she say when you'd confront her about all these lies and say, I think you're lying?
I didn't. I had to keep it inside.
Why?
You know, for the sake of
staying,
my son.
keeping the relationship together?
Yeah, I wanted to stay together, you know, so that I could have a relationship with my son.
Happens all the time. People just say, I'm going to let it go.
You know, I at one point wrote a letter to her. At one point, wrote a letter to her, a long letter about how, you know, I wanted to break up with her, and I actually left it in her room. She doesn't even know about this to this day. But after about 20 minutes, I went back and I ripped it up. I tore it up because I knew the consequences would be that I wouldn't be able to have a relationship with my baby boy.
Let me hear your side of this, ma'am.
I'd like to say that Job is not a good person. Our son was conceived out of love. I never once was falsifying about birth control. There's no reason.
You had planned the child.
Yeah, we were together. We were engaged for 3.5 years.
And you said, let's have a child.
Yeah, we had talked about discussing having a family.
Right, at that time.
Yes, sir.
At that time, you were going to have it at that time.
Yes, we planned the wedding. I bought my dress. I sent invitations. I paid for the place to get married. And then a week before our wedding, he takes off. He leaves the house, and he leaves my son and I with nothing. We're sleeping on the floor.
And this was what year?
And our son was born November of 2004. And
so this happened in 04?
Yes, sir.
The wedding was supposed to occur in 04?
Yes, and actually the day of our wedding, he proposed to Amber sitting down. And so with that happening, our son had a scheduled doctor's appointment. Job came and showed me new pictures of this woman and said, oh, this is our son's new mother. Words were exchanged, and ultimately I was punched in the face. And so at that time, I left, I went home. And
you all weren't together anymore?
No, we had no custody agreement.
Did you call the police?
I did not at that time because we had no child custody agreement. And
No. I'm saying about being punched in the face.
No, because we had no child custody agreement.
What does that have to do with a child custody agreement?
Because
ma'am, hold on. That's being assaulted and battered when you get hit in the face. I'm not talking about child custody. We're talking about the police for being attacked.
Right. I was afraid that he was going to take our son.
Because he bust you in the face, you thought that might result in him taking the son from you.
Yes.
Okay. What happened after that?
I asked for, at that time.
Okay. Let me let you get yourself together and let him respond. Get her some tissue, please. You want to respond?
Yeah, that's not true at all. Not at all.
Never planned to get married?
There were plans. But I knew deep down in my heart.
No. Buying a wedding dress, setting a date. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay, because you said a second ago, you said not at all.
What I'm talking about
When I said, is that true? You said not at all. That means nothing. So let's go over this again.
Fair enough.
Is anything she said true? So far, we've heard that the marriage was planned and she purchased the dress and all that. What happened with that?
There is some truth to what she's saying, absolutely, but...
1 week before it, you backed out?
No, it was months before.
Okay, months before the marriage, you said, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the allegation that you brought a woman to her around that time, that you were backing out of the marriage and said, this is my new woman, and proposed to her? Any of that true?
No.
Okay.
No.
And assaulting her, is that true?
There is, again, some truth to that.
Tell me.
But again, it's all veiled through...
Tell me.
It's all veiled through her interpretation.
Tell me about the assault and battery.
What happened was we were at the doctor's office. I was texting on my phone, and I wasn't paying any attention to her because we were there for
Your son.
our son. It was the doctor's office. And she didn't like it, so she came at me, just grabbed my phone, and was like, who are you texting? And she started, she grabbed my hand, and she was the one who assaulted me. It was the opposite. And when she started practically almost breaking my finger, I came up like that and caught her. And she was like, whoa, whoa. And I was like, you know, what are you doing? Get your hands off me. You can't do that to me. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting here texting on the phone.
Did you hit her?
You're going to come after me like that?
Did you hit her?
No.
Okay, how did it end? How did her assault end? Now you're telling me she assaulted and battered you. How did it end?
It ended with us both crying and apologizing to each other and saying we're sorry. That had
so
happened.
she just stopped.
That confrontation
She
in
let
front of
your
our son
hand
had
go.
happened.
She lets your hand go, and you all start apologizing to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Ma'am, did you do any of this?
No, sir.
You never grabbed him?
I never grabbed him.
You never touched his phone?
No, sir.
Did you ask him about texting?
No, sir. We were not together at the time. It was irrelevant.
I know. That's why I was curious as to why you would do that if it's true. You all aren't together. You shouldn't care who he's texting.
Correct.
So he's making that up entirely.
Yes, sir.
Not one part of what he said occurred at that doctor's office happened.
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to get straight to the specifics of this lawsuit regarding the breach of contract.
So we're living in a mobile home at the time, and it was given to us by her mom, and I was on the title for that, because if anything happened to either one of us, you know, we wanted that property to be secure. When we broke up, she wanted my name off the title. She's like, you know, I want your name off the title. I don't want you to have any interest in this property at all. And I was like, that's fair. You know, your mom gave it to you, so take my name off. In 2006, when I signed the release form, I thought it was done. It was a done deal. I thought she took it down. I was like, I had no reason to believe that she would do otherwise. So in 2010, when I went to run a credit report on myself to potentially move and buy a new home, there were a whole bunch of liens against me. And so I called her up and I was like, hey, you know, what are all these liens about? You know, you're supposed to take my name off the title and you said you were going to do it, but you never did. And
so they placed liens on your other property, your bank accounts or what have you, because she had not removed your name from the property and obviously had run up a bill on that property.
Precisely.
What type of bill did she run up?
These were taxes from the county, property taxes.
That were assessed against the home.
Yes.
That she didn't pay. And since she didn't pay, they put a lien on the home. And they put a lien on the owners of the home. Right. Which is what occurs when you don't pay it. They put a lien on everything you have. So that's what happened, and then? And so I kind of forgot about it at that point. But then in 2013, I was ready to move and actually buy a new home. It came up again. And I called her mom, and I was like, hey, you know what? These liens are still against me. And, you know, these need to get off. Otherwise, it's going to come out of my escrow account. And on your new home purchase. Yeah, so her mom said, let me call Sandra. Let me find out what's going on. So she calls her, and then I talked to her mom later on, and she says, sorry, you ain't gonna get your money. You gotta take her to court. And so I was like, okay, you know, if you're not gonna give me my money. Did you pay the taxes and get your name off yet? Yeah. But you still don't have your money that you had to pay for the taxes. Correct. And that's why you're suing today. Ma'am? Yeah, Your Honor, if I may stress the fact that when he released his name, the signature on the back of the title, back in 2006, we knew that we had property tax paid, but he sued me for another matter for home improvements on the home and won. Right, meaning you have to pay him off. Right. All right, so not only do you owe the $27.59, but you owe some more money. No, I was making payments towards my property tax because Do you owe still? Right now, no, I'm current. Do you owe him for the money he had to pay on your taxes on your home? Yes, I guess so. Okay, $27.59 is your judgment. Have a good day, judgment for the plaintiff.
hope you're happy, and lying catches up to you eventually. I mean, money doesn't make the world go around, you know what I mean? If you don't, you can be the richest person in the world and still feel empty. And there'll be one day when you're gonna feel like that. And our son, he's the best thing in this world, and how dare you stand there and deny him? It doesn't matter how he was made. He's made, and you know what? He's the best part of you.
Well, thanks for the word of advice, but I don't listen to liars. And ever since I met you, you've just been lying to me over and over and over again, and it's gonna catch up to you, not me.